What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Tuck Rule Takes. That's TRT, Tuck Rule Takes, episode 56. The Andre Tippett, Hall of
Ooh,
Famer.
that's the only
Andre
one.
Tippett
We're not
episode.
recognizing any other 56.
There are
That's the
none.
only one.
There are none. The only linebacker in history to have 35 sacks over the span of 2 seasons. Mr. Andre Tippett himself, Patriots Hall of Famer, and NFL Hall of Famer is what I should be saying.
Yep.
With me, as always, drinking his Jordan juice over there, Liam McDade. I am Mike Sullivan. We are back, and what did I say? We would show up coming off a win, and Liam, we showed up. We're coming off a win, a big win, a big win. You smell something? What do you smell? What do you smell?
I smell a positive record.
Holy shit!
A winning season?
I think. Do I see? What is that? It's 5. It's 5-4.
5 is more than 4.
The 5 is the wins.
Yeah.
The 4 are the losses. So, I was never good in math, but I think, buddy, we got a winning record right now.
And I think, and I hate to even bring him up when we're riding so high.
Oh, do it! Please do it. I was going to. Please do it.
Tom Brady is 4-5. Would that be the polar opposite of our record?
Did you say Tom Brady? Because the guy I'm seeing this year is not Tom Brady.
I don't know. But
I don't know
who.
He,
I mean, Bill Belichick was the problem. So
yeah. No, and you know what's funny? Since we are talking about that scumbag, it is funny how now that his team sucks, his team is, in the shitter and all that, all of a sudden now he wants to wax poetically about Bill Belichick and try to yank him off from a distance and all this shit. Miss me with that shit. Dumb.
All of a sudden, it was a glorious 20 years in New England.
So much winning. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, dumb. Did you? Because I couldn't tell by the way you fucking laughed.
God, so dumb. So, and I swear to God, Liam, this happens every episode. You'll freeze for a second, but your audio still goes, and I love it because it's like you're like this, and you're still talking.
I'm just impassioned.
But yeah, so that's our Tom Brady minute. Just he still sucks. Tom Brady has a losing record. We have a winning record.
I do want to say though, how frustratingly annoying is it how lucky Tom Brady gets that he is 4-5 at the top of his division, and we're 5-4. And we're still in last place.
Nonsense.
Just throwing it out there. It's preposterous.
It's bullshit.
I know this will change because Tua's system quarterback Viloa is not going to continue whatever undefeated hot streak that he's on when he starts games. The Jets are obviously shiesty, and the glorious, glorious news of the last 2 weeks. And I am not one to wish injury on somebody, but I have been praying for Josh Allen to get hurt basically from Jump Street of the season. So it has finally happened. My prayers have been answered. I can finally recognize that there is a God in this beautiful universe of ours. Josh Allen's hurt.
Hey, we'll talk about it because there's not too much to talk about with the game other than the fact that the Pats defense just dominated. But since we're going into a bye week, there's no game to talk about. It's kind of going to talk about the landscape of the AFC right now, how it relates to the Pats. Their next week is a big week for the Patriots, even though they're not playing. So, and yes, that does have to do with Josh Allen and the Bills, but we're not going to talk about them right now. Like I said, Patriots won 26-3. That is 26-3. The Colts did not score a touchdown. This was a whomping. And the Patriots offense really didn't play that well, but they still put up 26. So I don't want to
12 points and 12 possessions isn't stellar.
Not great. The only touchdown drive was 4 yards, which is awesome. I like that. But whatever. But the offense, again, we'll talk about that after. I do not want to. I know we normally start with Mac Jones. Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. Well, Mac Jones, 20 or 30, 147.
We should go elsewhere to start this, though. This game was not about Mac Jones.
This game was about. It's funny that we brought up a Hall of Fame linebacker to start the episode. This game was about one person in particular, a whole unit, but really one person who is putting on a clinic this year. I will now
fearless leader of this union, the King Leonidas of this army,
the Marcus Aurelius gladiator, 300. He is one and only Red Sleeves, Matthew Judon.
Yep. Give it up to the
Dude
man.
had 3 sacks. He
Three
was
and a
not the
half,
only one
no?
who had only 3. I'm looking now that they
I
gave
thought
him
it was
3.
3.5.
He is not the only one who had 3 sacks. There was another gentleman, but like I said, we are starting with Matthew Judon, 11 and a half sacks, most sacks in the league. Nobody else has more than 8.5. I am confidently ready to say he is a top 3 Belichick signing in the 20 plus years Belichick has been here. I don't know who you'd put there. Probably Randy Moss would be there. And you want to put Revis, maybe you could find someone else to put in there. Wes Welker, maybe. But Judon has to be in that conversation. He was fucking everywhere this weekend.
Yep.
Everywhere.
He really was.
Everywhere.
Like
there were
you
plays
said it
where,
spot on. He was just, the hype is completely real. He was flawless.
No, and I heard what's his name? Not David Archuleta. But yeah, David Archuleta, because Adam Archuleta. Which Archuleta am I talking about? Who is the announcer?
The old safety for the Redskins?
Adam Archuleta, right?
Adam Archuleta, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the announcers for the game on Sunday, and he was talking about the Patriots defense at the very beginning of the game. And he was like, this defense, not that many stars, but they still put, and like I was kind of taken aback by it, but it got to the point where even my wife looked at me and she was like, why did he say that? And it doesn't make sense. Like
she's like, you hearing this shit?
This whole like infatuation with stars on a defense or on a team, and that somehow signifies that they're good. That's bullshit, because Judon is the best, again, other than Aaron Donald. He is the most, I don't know, menacing, dominating front 7 player in the league right now. You cannot tell me outright. See, I would say that, but Aaron Donald is fucking crazy.
Okay, so let me go through the top pass rushers anyway, because obviously Aaron Donald's and he's a defensive tackle. He makes an impact in a weird way that defensive tackle shouldn't. So it's hard to compare
put him
the
everywhere.
Two. Yeah. So that'd be like comparing Lawrence Taylor to like Reggie White. Like they're just different positions. It's hard for me to compare them anyway. Yep. But when we're talking about top, just strictly pass rushers, so this is D ends and outside linebackers. Shaq Barrett, who's out for the season, not in contention, and he was having a down year beforehand. Max Crosby, good, not great, in my opinion. Yep. Very serviceable. Trey Hendrickson, who's been on the come up. I think his hype got a little overblown with the Bengals in the Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. He's a good player. Yep. I like him. He's not Matthew Judon.
Not even close.
Let's say that. And Von Miller, who started out the season on fire, killing it, just absolutely running a dominant Bills defense, has completely faded out. There's an APB out for Von Miller. Haven't heard anything about him in the last 5 games. I've heard a lot about Matthew Judon in the last 5 games. So we'll say he's better than Von Miller.
Yep.
Khalil Mack. Can you even tell me what team Khalil Mack's on right now?
Pass.
Exactly.
Oh, the Chargers.
Exactly.
The Chargers. The
yes.
Chargers. See, it took a second.
Well, it did. There's reason for that. He's been terrible.
That's sad.
Judon. Advantage Judon.
Yep.
Nick Bosa, who's, hurt every other year.
Always hurt.
I'm going to leave it at that. Advantage Judon.
Yeah.
I mean, like going down the list. So we got 4 left. Chandler Jones, big name, not big production.
Nope.
I love Chandler Jones.
Yep.
Last season had 4 sacks in his first game, finished the season with 6. That's disappointing. That's disappointing. Love him, but advantage Judon.
Yep.
Cameron Jordan of the Saints. Used to be a bigger name than he is now. I still think his production's good, but not giving him the advantage over Judon. We come to 1 and 2, and I know this is where you sympathize here. Who? TJ Watt. I know you're a fan. He's a beast. Missed most of the year, so because of that, he's out of contention.
Definitely. Yeah, he's not. Healthy. I think he gives Judon a run for his money. I think he's
big
just
time. Big time.
He won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Correct?
Did he?
I believe. I think he did.
I was wondering. I wasn't sure, But yeah,
We'll
I wouldn't be
we'll
surprised.
we'll fact check that. We'll fact check
Yeah,
that. But
that
anyways,
whole
continue.
family just comes from the balls of greatness. I want to know who Mr. Watt is. He must be a stud. But and then number one, Miles Garrett. Obviously, Miles Garrett's the man. He's having a tremendous season, wreaked havoc on the Patriots when we played. Even though we kicked their ass, he still had 2 sacks against us. He is the only one that I think is in contention neck and neck with Judon. That's the only one that I don't go automatically advantage Judon. So that's a tough one there.
He
Either
did win it
way,
last year. I double checked.
did he? Okay,
Just
so
double
that's
checking. Yes.
badass. Okay, so
Yes.
then if he played this full year, I'm sure he
Mhm.
very well could be better than Matthew Judon. But right now, we have truly the top 2 pass rusher in the league.
I mean, and you have to think about it. He's doing this right now. For Lawrence Guy was out for what, 2-3 games, I think, something like that.
3.
Yeah, 3 games. Barmore has been out for 2 games. They haven't really played on the field all at the same time. It's not like the Patriots have any stellar, it's not like Von Miller gets put onto that Bills defense that's already elite. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
granted, the Patriots defense is very good, but their forte has never been rushing the passer. The Bills defense, they can always get after you. The Jets can get after you, anything like that. You're not putting Judon on a team that can do that. So he's really fighting through double teams. He's relying on
he
skills,
is the focal
stunts.
point. Like if offense, so you're the Jets who's going to play the
Mhm.
Patriots in 2 weeks.
Yep.
On offense, you're looking to block Judon.
Yeah.
That's priority. That's where you start and stop. You're like, where's 9? Look at those red sleeves. Stop him.
Yep.
If Uche gets
Yep.
7 sacks, so be it. Fuck us. We lost.
Yep.
But we are not going to let him get a sack. And he just grit and grinds. Tackles will be pulling at his jersey
Oh
and his
my God.
helmet, tearing at him. He's pushing him out of the way. Double teams, triple teams. Get away from me. I'm getting the quarterback.
It
It's
means
horrifying.
nothing. Which is
Yeah.
weird because with the sleeves, you would think people would grab them, but they
Yeah.
don't. They can't. He is so like I
He
was watching
wasn't
like
this good on the
it's-
Ravens either, which blows my mind because he was good. I liked him,
Oh
but
yeah,
he
of course. I liked
complete
him.
yeah
He was one of the players I didn't like, but I liked, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
But he wasn't like a big impact player, and then he comes to the Patriots, eats up that culture, and all of a sudden he's dominant. And I'm like, this works out perfectly for us. But I gotta say I didn't see it coming. Now that it's here, the train's at the station. I'm psyched to get on board. But he
Nope.
just showed up big time.
He came out, and the thing is, and Liam, let me ask you a quick question, kind of an easy question. Who do you give credit to for getting the most out of a player like that? When another coach in the league, Mr. Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, who is touted as a good coach, could not get
Yep.
the most out of Matthew Judon. I think we give the credit to one Bill Belichick, correct?
I mean, the only answer would be Bill Belichick. I mean,
I
he's a
mean,
defensive terrorist. Sam Ellinger should be horrified at what he just had to go
my
through in that
God, it
game.
got to the point where I was
He,
feeling bad. I felt
yeah,
bad.
truly, truly. Like, how many times can this guy get hit? I liked him. I told you last week when I was looking forward to this game, like, I really like Sam Ellinger. Like, he's a good
Yeah,
quarterback. I think he does pretty okay. Like, I was like, I think he keeps it close enough. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong.
you were very wrong.
What Bill did to this guy is a war crime. It was absolutely horrific. Bill is a defensive terrorist who did something completely outlandish, out of pocket,
Defensive
unreasonable
terrorist.
to this poor kid. He's just trying to make his second start in the league. And we know how this goes. Bill
Oh,
against a young
we
quarterback,
know.
it's usually bloody, but this was particularly bloody. And I don't know why. I don't know what pent up rage or anger Bill had going on, but he sent the dogs in. And it was just have you like Modern Warfare 2, that mission No Russian?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were dealing with
That
on Sunday.
yeah,
They just walked right in there and we're like, all right,
and just
remember, no Russian.
yeah, yeah. There was what Belichick did to Ellinger was so bad that the Colts were forced to fire their coach.
Yeah, like
That's how
immediately.
rough that was. They were like,
Bill
buddy, listen,
Bill
we
cost a
can't get
man
rid of
his
him.
job. Bill stopped a guy. I mean, granted, Frank Reich's going to be paid probably till 2023 or something like that. I
Yeah,
remember seeing it.
yeah.
But Bill cost a man his job. Went out there and was like, "You shall not pass, run, anything."
With no remorse. He took him out,
None.
shook his hand at midfield after, and was like, "Sorry, I had to do this to you." But one of the
Yeah.
definitions of like, listen, it's just business. It's not
Yeah.
actually for in this case because Belichick does not like the Colts. So
No, he hates him.
this was personal, but I just
Yeah.
I
And
don't
that's
know.
the thing. I'm like, Bill, I know you don't like the Colts, but damn, dude.
And my God, 9 sacks. I mean, so I mean, you had Judon, and we're going to continue to talk about Judon the
Yeah.
defense, but Judon had 3, Uche had 3, Jawan Bentley had 1, Tavai and
Also, how awesome is it that we talked about Uche last week as like number 55? And we were like, I really like the guy. Like we
and now
threw
he's
him in at
showing
the
up.
end and then 3 sacks in the next game. We're like, cool.
And
Episode
now he's showing
56.
up.
Guys, it's done.
It's ridiculous. You had Dietrich Wise and Tavai combined for half, and then
Yeah.
Raekwon McMillan showed up and got a sack. He's been playing really well the last couple of weeks too.
Yep.
This defense, I almost wish that the bye week wasn't coming, and that we'll talk about the curse of the bye week as well, because I love watching them play. It does not matter who they are playing. They, other than you think of, there have been 2 games where the Patriots defense has gotten, I don't want to say embarrassed, but something like that. It was against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and Justin Fields and the Bears. What do those 2 have in common? The quarterbacks that just are freak athletes back there. So, and the Patriots have always had issues with those run first type of quarterbacks. But if you take those 2 games out, this Patriots defense, you should be scared of this team strictly because of that, and strictly because of number 9, because I can't, watching him play. It's there was one play where I think I think it was the one I sent to you on Twitter. He got through like 3 people.
Yes.
He just like weaseled his way.
And that's why I said double team, triple team. Like they double team him on the offensive line, and then the running back is waiting for him to beat the double team so the running back can pair onto him. And I'm like, they're double teaming him knowing that's not going to be effective. You've lost. You've lost.
I don't understand. Did you see they mentioned it? I don't know where they mentioned it, where I saw it, but his Judon's pregame ritual, what he does, he goes to every pylon and he kicks over the pylons. I don't know why. I wrote that down.
Petty.
That was the first thing I wrote down in my notes. I was like, Judon knocks over pylons before each game. ... Cool. I don't know why.
Cool.
I just find that.
Sure.
I don't know. I was like, I should have known.
I just think it's petty. He's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. He's like, fuck this. Knock over a pylon for every tackle, for every sack. But yeah, he was all over the place. I mean, Jawan Bentley was all over the place too. He had 5 tackles, 3 assists, a sack.
And
Uche,
he's just
5
solid.
tackles.
Like Jawan Bentley is my guy, where he's like, he's the hard hat and lunch pail guy who comes to work every day and he's just gonna grind. Like I expect a good almost 10 tackles from Bentley every week. I want to talk about the secondary though, because Panda Jack on one. Ooh. Your boy Johnny Jones, big ballin'. How about that spin move to get into the end zone? Just say Monday Feek.
Oh my God. The defense. I mean, the whole defense as a whole is great. But you said the defense. I wrote down, I even put a little fire emoji in my notes. Jalen Mills.
Yeah.
I know that you.
Of course, I didn't even mention him. I
think you need to. And honestly, we're not going to move on this podcast until you oblige. I need you to say sorry to Jalen Mills for the bullshit that you've given him this year, because he showed up and he is showing out this year. I don't know what his celebration is. He does something. It looks like he's like carrying around like a big gun or something. I don't know.
I thought
what
it was
the hell
an air
it is.
Guitar is what I
I don't know, but it looked like he would. I don't know. It's a weird way. I don't know. Is it a shovel? I don't know what he's doing. I love the celebration. Love the way he's playing it. I would just love it if you would. I mean, he's a former Eagle, so like you should have some sort of love for him. I just want you to just like a quick little like, hey, I'm sorry. That's all I want to hear. That's it.
Okay. This is what you're going to hear.
Oh.
He is ranked the 98th best corner in the league, which I know, which is terrible. So I will preface by saying he is not the 98th best quarterback in the league. That is, if I'm an eye test man. I
Okay.
think Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever just because the eye test tells me he was fucking phenomenal. All
Yeah.
the 5,000, 6,000 yard passing
Mhm.
seasons tell me he's one of the best.
Yeah.
I'm an eye test man. So if the numbers tell me he's 96th, I'm going to bump that up to 40. I think Jalen Mills is a strong, above average corner who
Mhm.
does well in Bill Belichick's system. So I will apologize. I will
Okay.
apologize to Jalen Mills because I thought he was terrible. And
Okay.
last year, he was not that good.
He was hurt.
He was
We
hurt
went over it. He
for
was hurt the
for
whole year.
for
The whole year.
13 weeks. He was hurt. He was
Yeah, something
very
with his
hurt for
ankle.
13
Yeah,
weeks. Yes, those linger. Those are tough, and I'll give it to you. But
clearly.
I I should have, I guess, saw this coming. I told you about this when I went to Patriots practice and he picked off a pass wearing pads.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was like, all right,
Yep.
that's crazy. There's no traction in pads. He shouldn't have caught that. And like, obviously, his only interception of the year came off a tip. He was just right place, right time.
Yeah.
But he hasn't given up any of those CD Lamb type touchdown plays in
Mhm.
overtime that lost us the game last year. That's all I'm worried about. I am sorry, Jalen Mills, because I thought you were total garbage, and I would have given you the Quentin Tarantino treatment,
Huh.
disposed of your body in a junkyard. But I have grown to be quite fond of Jalen Mills.
There we go. See, and that's see, I think it's important for us to admit when we are
Yes,
wrong. I feel like we
accountability,
have
because
both done it.
it happens rare, but I am
Yep.
wrong.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? At least you admitted it. Thank you. Yes, this secondary. And I know that obviously they weren't playing a murderer's row of an offense
No,
this week or last week, really,
yeah,
but still, it really doesn't matter who they're playing. They
these are NFL offenses.
yeah, they're still. I mean, the Colts kind of notwithstanding, the Colts kind of have a shitty little
They're
team.
not great,
But
but like,
I mean,
hey, they're
the Jets
four
just
and
beat the
five
Bills.
and one. Like they've won games. They beat the Chiefs. So
Yeah. Yeah, they beat and just like how, like I just said, the Jets beat the Bills and the Patriots shut down the Jets. So
yeah,
like every week is different. So I think it's gone are the days, and I think we said this. I think you mentioned it last season, or maybe it was this season. There really are no more shut down defenses. The days
no,
of the Legion of Boom are gone. It's really just you have a you can be considered a really good defense in the NFL if you just it's more of an eye test thing because numbers are going to cut, like yards might come, broken plays, things like that. You can like you really just tell eye test. Is this a good defense? Is this defense, can they hold whoever to whatever? Patriots have a very, very good defense. I mean,
yeah,
the Colts went 0 for 14 on third downs, and then they went 0 for 16 if you want to count fourth downs.
yeah.
How that
Eric,
that
oh
number
for
doesn't even make sense.
what
They were 0
you
for
said four.
16, including fourth downs. They were 0 for
Oh,
14
okay.
in just third downs.
Yes,
That
okay.
doesn't even
Because you
sound
said fourth down twice, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That sounds like a fake stat. 0
yeah.
for 14 on third downs.
Okay. They had two third and twos. You couldn't get those. Like you can't get any third down. It's outrageous.
Two?
The metrics say though, defense just this year alone has been way back to like the 2000s era where defenses were shutting them down. For some reason this year, defenses have completely bounced back, and there's been more shutouts than there have been in the years. Like
Do you
defense are
think
playing a lot better.
do you think that might also be a mix of just there really aren't that many good offensive
You
teams in the
froze.
league? You know what I mean? Oh no. Did you
Do
freeze?
I think I'm on the edge of my seat here? Oh fuck.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
now I can hear you. Yes.
There we go. See, so that's what I was doing. I was
Proceed.
really just pausing for dramatic effect. Liam, do you think that those defensive stats might just be a factor that something that might be playing a big factor is that there's really no great offenses anymore in the
It
league
sure
right
doesn't
now.
seem like it.
I feel like kind of it's both where defenses are playing better, the offenses are kind of falling back down to earth. Because even if you look in the NFL right now, what team there's no
Who's the best offense in the league? Because the Bills just lost to the
I,
Jets. Patrick
I
Mahomes
mean,
had to have a crazy comeback where he scrambled on fourth or third and 17 to get a first down and win the game in overtime by a field goal. There's no dominant offense anymore.
there's none. That's why when the Patriots score 26 points, and then I go on, I'm perusing through Twitter, and I see people like he who shall not be named, who has three T's in his first name. So, or people complaining about this offense, and I'm like, I get it, I get the frustration. Like I said, we're gonna talk about the offense after we kind of wrap up the defense here, but 26 points is 26 points. That's more than half the league scored this week. I mean, that's more than the Chiefs had before they went into overtime. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like the 26 points is still 26 points, and that's with drives stalling. So imagine if the Patriots were scoring touchdowns. They'd be scoring this would have been a 40-point whopping
Yeah.
if the Patriots could get their heads out of their ass on offense. So
And
I
what was
I
the
don't know.
penalty? There was at the beginning of the season, they were saying that refs are calling, was it illegal contact or something by the secondary? They were calling it more often this season because they didn't call it
Yeah,
enough last season. I
yeah,
think that's a big part of it. Like,
yeah.
the league makes adjustments and whatnot.
Mhm.
And usually it only lasts for the first half of the season. Then they stop giving a shit in the second half and let them play.
Always. Yep.
But
Yeah. But yeah,
I think
I don't
that's a
know.
reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it because I'll watch these games and I'm like, I mean, the Packers are one of the worst teams in the league. The Bucks
Yeah.
don't look great. The Chiefs look look very
Good.
beatable.
Yeah.
They look good, but they look like they can be. They're not these world beaters
Yep.
that we've seen.
They
The
almost lost to the
Bills,
Titans with a quarterback who couldn't complete a pass.
I mean, yeah, what do we do? The Bills lost to the Jets, who
Yeah.
looked I don't who looked anemic against the Patriots last week. So
Yeah.
it's like you have, I mean, the
They lost to the
freaking
Dolphins
Vikings are
too, and they looked terrible at the end too. Josh Allen threw a gross pick to lose the game.
that I mean, it's these teams that you have talent, you have all these skills, but the more so this year than any other year, it seems like both conferences are wide open. I mean, the AFC right now is separated by one game, all four teams. I mean, the AFC East right now. It's crazy. Like, I mean, just taking a look at it right now, you have the Bills at 6-2, Chiefs at 6-2, Ravens at 6-3, then Titans at 5-3, 6-3 for the Jets, 6-3 for the Dolphins, then 5-3 for the Chargers, 5-4 for the Patriots. Everybody is within one game. The Bengals are at 5-4.
Yeah,
This is fucking crazy. And half these
it
teams
is.
are off this week because they got a bye week, which is going to throw.
It's just going to be
It's just going to,
chaos.
yeah. Which actually it works for us because I believe, who is it? The Jets. I think it's the Jets, Dolphins, and Chargers are all off this week, if I remember correctly. Let me double check. No, the Chargers play. So the Jets are have a bye week this week, which helps us because we don't need them winning any more games that they should be losing. So, but either way, it's one of those things where teams right now, the Patriots scored 26 points. 26 points would have beaten half the league this week. So take it, sit with it, like it, be frustrated by some of the offensive things. But everybody needs to calm the fuck down. Yeah. Everybody needs to calm down. So I don't know. I don't know what else this defense could do or what else we could even say about the defense right now. They're rolling on all cylinders. Does not matter who they're playing. They are shutting them down. I mean, they played the number one offense in the Lions, and everybody poo-pooed that because it was like, oh, it's still the Lions. The next week, the Lions put up 30. The next week, they put up 30 again.
Exactly.
So, like, I think it's time. Yes, this Patriots defense doesn't have that many stars, doesn't have that many, big names that but that doesn't mean shit. I'm sorry that there's no Von Miller, that there's no Tre'Davious White, that there's no J.C. Jackson. Thank God there's no J.C. Jackson on this team.
Seriously.
Like, I'm sorry that Khalil Mack isn't roaming the linebacker core in there. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we just have Judon, just this guy, Judon.
And we just have, 5 guys rushing the passer who are going to try their damnedest to get to the guy. And I will gladly take that over a entitled superstar who, has been told how good he is his entire time in the league, gets a big deal, goes to a new team, and then, Where is Khalil Mack? Where is JC Jackson? Where is Chandler Jones? Where is Von Miller? All these guys who got big deals with new teams,
Mhm.
non-existent. Not
Gone.
the guy we're talking about as solid contention with Judon has been with the Browns his entire career. It's
Yeah,
all these guys that get big bags and go to new teams. Sorry, they are non-existent. I'm glad Bill didn't throw the bag at any of these guys. They'd probably be great because Bill wouldn't
of
let them
course.
rest on their laurels if they
Mhm.
came to the Patriots. But we don't want them. We don't need them. We don't need to waste money on these superstars when we
Nope.
have guys, young, proven guys that are coming up in the league, great athletes. And Bill goes, go earn a deal, either with me or likely with someone else, but go out there and kill them.
Can you imagine? And the last point I'm going to say on the defense, you can say whatever you want. Then we're going to hit the offense. Can you imagine coming off the bye, assuming that the defense continues to play how they're playing? If you throw Christian Barmore in the mix,
Yeah,
I don't
it can only
know.
go up.
I don't know what teams are going to do because you got to think they're doubling Guy right now.
Yeah,
They're chipping Judon, throwing running backs at him, trying to block him somehow. What happens when you have Guy and Barmore in the middle? And then you got to either double one of them or let one of them come through. I'm just this defense could be scary good if they keep playing how they're playing because the linebackers
definitely.
are playing well. Mac Wilson, Jabril Peppers is showing up. I mean,
Love them.
everybody is playing well right now. On defense. I will
Yes,
specify that and say on defense. So
of course.
I'm pumped to see what this looks like after the bye week. Now are you ready to move on to the enigma that is this Patriots offense?
I do have one more comment on the
Thank God.
defense.
Please delay the offensive talk here.
It is a good thing that Sam Ellinger was starting because the Colts have a nuclear warhead, a weapon of mass destruction that you know, they have a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl winner,
Yep.
somebody who just loves to toast Bill Belichick's defense. And if he was in there, would have been a completely different story. Wouldn't have been a shutout. We probably would have lost. Thank God they did not play Nick Foles because this guy just has Bill's number. It would have been a completely different game. So I'm glad they went with the young guy, went with Sam Ellinger. Clearly, the Colts are tanking. They're not thinking wisely. They don't want to win because they could have put Nick Foles in and got a 400-yard, 7 touchdown performance, and we would have lost. But thank you, Frank Reich, for wanting to be fired and making the executive decision that I am not going to play the man that just haunts Bill Belichick's dreams and loves. If this was a drug, he would snort it. He is addicted to beating the Patriots. So I'm very thankful. Thank you, Frank Reich. As your last act, you did not drop the
That's your
nuclear
last
warhead.
act.
Did not drop the nuclear warhead. I appreciate it.
So I two things. One, I wholeheartedly agree. I halfway through that game, I was like, "Oh shit,
Yep.
Nick Foles is their backup." The second
Yeah.
they put him in, this is
It's
a
over.
completely different game,
Yep.
completely different. But they did not. So number
Yes.
two, though, we at some point we're gonna have to talk about this, Liam. Your fandom for the Eagles is worrisome. It is troubling as a Patriots fan. I know it's kind of like the elephant in the room that nobody talks about. There's like a relationship where
Yeah.
like there's that one thing that like
Yeah.
that
People
like
mums the
in your
word
in
around
your
it.
partner where you're like, I don't know, it's just a weird thing
Like
that
a
he
little
does. I don't
suspect,
know. Like,
but
he's like
yeah.
addicted to coke, like just like a weird thing. At some point, we're gonna have to have an intervention about this. But today is not that day.
Yeah, today
Tonight
is
is
not
not that night.
today.
Tonight is
Just
not that night.
I just had to mention infamous penis haver, Nick Foles.
Infamous penis habit. Yes. That would have scared me if he got put in the game. One, because he is a
100%.
competent quarterback. He does always
Yeah,
seem to have Bill's number.
competent to say
I
the
I
least.
agree.
First ballot Hall of Famer, maybe the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. Very lucky. Very lucky.
Oh God. Between this and your Cam Newton love, I don't
Oh,
know.
I mean, I have an eye for quarterback talent.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
this comes down to.
All right. All right. Speaking of quarterback talent, then we're gonna move to the offensive side of the ball.
Nice
Mac
segue.
Jones. Mac Jones. 20 to 30, 147, one touchdown. Biggest stat for me is no picks. Not even really any interceptable balls. I didn't think. Part of that was because I know that everybody likes to talk about Mac Jones regressing, which I don't think that's what's happening. I think that this is the equivalent of a kid in school missing a good chunk of the year and then taking the test and kind of getting a D on it, realizing that he missed some of the work and he has to catch up on it. What I think is going on, the only part of this team that I think is actually regressing, and I think there's a reason for it, and we'll talk about that. This offensive line, if they keep playing how they are, this Patriots team is going to go nowhere. They'll win games. They'll be an exciting team. They'll be like the Celtics of a few years ago, where they're the
They're
fun
exciting,
team,
but they're not
they're a
going to
good
win
team
the
to
chip.
watch, but there's just the one thing that's holding them
Yeah.
back. Exactly.
Can't
Now,
win a championship with Isaiah Thomas, but goddamn, it'll be a ride.
but it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be and I hate that. I hate that explanation of a team. I know David Andrews is out. That's a huge thing because as the center, he is the one who kind of controls the line, calls out coverages, protection, all that stuff. I hope he is back coming off the bye week because I can't do this anymore. Mac Jones I think he had like an average of 2.1 seconds to throw or something like that.
It was ugly.
It was very, when Mac Jones had time to throw, you kind of saw what this offense could be. 3-step, 5-step drops. He plants his back foot, the ball's out. Or he's taken off trying to scramble, trying to make something happen. Sure, did he miss a couple people? Of course. But you know why? And then I hear people saying, oh, it looks like he's locking onto a receiver. You know why he's locking onto a receiver? Because he knows he only has about 2 seconds before Isaiah Wynn or Cole Strange or Ferentz or someone misses a block and he's got someone right in his face. So it's one of those things where
now
I don't
Marcus
think you
Cannon's
can.
on IR, so that's
Marcus Cannon's
nightmare.
on IR, which I think him and David Andrews are both on there for, well, not IR, but they're both injured because of concussion. So I know Cannon will be back, but it still sucks he's gone. David Andrews, you hope he'll be back, but you can't make any, and I saw people doing this, but you can't make any sweeping generalizations, any sweeping criticisms of the offense or Mac Jones really right now, because when the offensive line can't block or isn't giving the offense time to do anything, you're not grading it on a whole scale. So I don't know. How did you feel? Because this offense, like I'm not worried, but I think that you kind of need to turn things around right now with the offense, specifically the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a very bare bones system right now where it's almost like Mac is working completely off instincts and not so much following a game plan. And I think a huge reason for that is the offensive line. I mean, the box score says it alone. And if you watch the game, it screams it. I mean, 5 catches for Jacoby Myers and what was it, 4 for Hunter Henry?
Yep.
Yeah, and he had the most yards. I know that. But
yeah,
those are your 2
50.
guys. Those are your safety blankets. When shit breaks down, you look for Myers in the slot, as every Patriots quarterback has done in the last 20 years. And your tight ends, basically the same routine. You look for your 2 guys that are usually in a mismatch, usually running quick routes, 10 yards, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Those are the guys that you throw to when shit breaks down. So when I look at the box score and see that Jacoby Myers had the most catches and Hunter Henry had the most yards, I'm like, all right, he was obviously under a lot of pressure. I'd love to see more Devontae Parker deep and whatnot. Stephon Gilmore didn't look great. I was expecting a big game from Devontae Parker. He didn't even play. So
unfortunately,
my game breaker is completely irrelevant. But I don't know. Do you think he makes the difference in this, where if he was in, Mac would have been able to connect with him, or he wouldn't have even had time to throw it downfield to Parker?
That's what I don't think he would have had time. I think that just every single drop back, and this is something where, I mean, you're looking at analysts who don't even have any dog in the fight, don't have any sort of narrative they're trying to push with the Patriots or with ESPN or whatever. And it's just like, they're looking at it and they're like, Mac Jones does not have any time to throw. He's not playing perfect games. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, no quarterback really is. No one's saying that, but he's not. He has no time to throw. So if Devontae Parker was in the game, sure. Like, could he maybe have hit him? Because Parker's also just a really good receiver. So maybe
Yeah.
Mac Jones has more confidence, so he chuck it up there more. I don't
And
think it
that's
would
my
have made
thing.
too
Maybe
much of a
maybe Parker
difference.
splits off for like 1 or 2, 20-yard catches,
Yeah.
15-yard catches. But I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. Looking at this, it's Kendrick Bourne. At least we finally got to see him catch more than 2 passes.
Can
He
we
got
talk about
3.
Kendrick Bourne? Can
I'd love
we
to.
can we can we talk about it? Because I want to pause for him because all I heard were people saying that, and we were one of them, but
Yep,
people criticizing Belichick and the team. And, whenever bad things would happen on offense, or when the offense looked sluggish, it was, oh, well, good thing you're not playing Kendrick Bourne, blah, blah, blah. Kendrick Bourne, I don't know if anybody really watched him. I think I put it in there. Kendrick Bourne had a drop, I think in like
yep.
the second drive, first drive, something like that. He fumbled the ball. And then on the jet sweep, he looked indecisive as shit. There were just times where
That was
he,
bad,
so don't,
which is
don't,
unusual for him.
which it is. There was the screen pass where he got it. He did some sort of spinny, dippy thing that didn't work out. It just, and I'm not saying this to say that he shouldn't get playing time. He should, but I'm just saying, like, the people that think that they know that if Kendrick Bourne's in the game, this is an automatic win. It's like, no, there's a
No,
reason that, like, people just try to think that they're smarter than Belichick because they've seen
yeah,
him make like a handful of mistakes. There's a reason that Bourne isn't number 2 or number
yeah.
3 in the depth chart.
Like, switch him for DK Metcalf. You think we bench DK Metcalf and he doesn't have a huge role in the offense if he misses a meeting? No, because we'd give him, 15 snaps, and DK Metcalf would make more of those snaps than Kendrick
Yep.
Bourne has because he's a better player. But
Yep.
people are talking about Kendrick Bourne like we're benching Randy Moss. And I'm like, nope, we're not. He's great. I love him. He's a great possession
We
receiver.
both do. Yep.
Now I think he's in his own head more than anything else. And I wonder, like,
Mm.
maybe if the whole offense is in their own head, knowing that, like, they're not reaching potential with the offensive line being out. Every skill player is like, I got to do a little more. They're trying a
Mm.
little too hard. Nelson Aguilar with the fumbles, Kendrick Bourne with the drops. He did fumble last
Yep.
game, but he's not
Yep.
frequent to fumbles. But like you
No.
said, he couldn't turn a simple end around into a gain. He dance too much. Pulled the LaShawn McCoy when he doesn't have LaShawn McCoy moves.
Yep.
My only theory here is the fact that they go against Bill Belichick's defense every day in practice, and Bill, being the Muammar Gaddafi of defense, just completely shreds their confidence every practice. So the offense is like, we can't do anything in practice, and then they just go out in the game and they're like, well, our offense scout team, had 50 yards, so
Yeah.
we
Like, I
do
don't
not
think
feel
we'll.
good about this game.
I don't know. It's such a weird. It's
Mac
such a
threw
weird
3
thing.
picks in practice, so
I think in Mac Mac Jones said it too, kind of something along the lines, because you said that, like, you think that they're in their own head. Mac Jones said that, that he gets frustrated, the offense gets frustrated when
of
things don't
course,
go well. He said that they need to.
they're
What
not
was his
dumb.
quote?
They can look at the box score at the end of the game, or this game, they just like the Lions game where I said if Mac
Yep.
Jones played, they would have scored 45. In this game, Mac Jones played, they should have had another 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's
And they
kind
know
of
that.
like along what he was saying. He said that they need to not ride the wave,
Yeah.
meaning that they need to not obviously just jump on the back of the defense. The defense is fine with it. Obviously everything that they say,
Yeah.
they're like, I don't give a shit. Like, we'll run every game.
Yeah.
But I think what you said there, I think the bye week is going to help that, because I do feel like there's some sort of a, not a mental block, but it's one of those frustrating things where it's like they're so close. And
Yeah.
it's like once like Max starts playing well, the receivers don't have a good game, or once they're both having a good game, the offensive line doesn't block. It just seems like it's not all coming together at once. And I'm hoping that after the bye week is kind of the opposite of last year, where everything does come together. But
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you that I think that there is some sort of like I don't want to say overthinking it, but there's something that they're in their own head. And the bye week should kind of help them with that, because you're in a good shape going into the final 8 games of the year. you're in pretty good shape. You're 5-4. You're a half
Yeah.
a game out of the playoffs right now. The season is still very much alive. Hopefully you come back healthy, but I don't care what receivers play. I really don't, as long
No.
as Jacoby Myers is playing. But I want, if the offensive line can block even 60% better than they are, this team is hands that I would put thousands of dollars on them being a playoff team. If the offensive
Yes.
line can just block like half the time, like not like a tenth of the time like they are now. That's all we need. Just a little bit of blocking. But 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 yeah, I don't know. I don't care who plays. Just I don't. I'm sick of the bad things happen, and it's like, okay, what Belichick decision can we choose to blame this on? And it's like
Yeah.
sometimes the answer is right in front of you, and this answer to me is that the offensive line could not block. I want to ask you about this offensive line. Have you noticed that Belichick's been doing like and I think you have because we've kind of talked on it. We haven't like specifically said what it was, but he's doing like this rotation thing with the offensive line where
Kind of
like
have to.
he's taken he's taken out Cole Strange, putting Isaiah Wynn over there, and then put in, Kajus, or however you say his last name, over there.
Yeah, Yandy.
Yeah, he's putting Yandy over there. And then
Yeah.
he's switching it with Win, and it's like, if it works, that's awesome, and it's obviously worked at times this season. But isn't the offensive line a position group that you want to all be kind of solidified? Don't you
Yeah.
not want that
And
like revolving door?
don't ruin the chemistry of switching them around type.
Yeah, yeah, I would think, but I don't know. Just kind of something I was thinking. I don't know if it makes a huge difference or what's going on, or if it's kind of been happening and we just haven't really noticed it. But I just really noticed it last game because they brought attention to it. But I don't know. I have high hopes that the offense is going to get their shit together, but it starts with the offensive line. And
It does, because Cole Strange did not have a good game.
no. I don't. That's why he was the one who he got taken out, and
Yeah,
Win got slid over to his
because
spot.
just
And
off
Win
the
did
top of my
well.
head, I remember an ugly penalty from him and two,
Yep.
potential. I don't think either one of them were a sack, but two pressures that he gave up.
Yep.
And I was just like, man, like I was just singing your praises the last couple of weeks. Don't do this to me. You're gonna make me look bad. But
Mm-hmm.
with Bill, I think it's one of those things like Bill has a fridge full of expired beer. And he's like, I'm not going to drink 3 expired beers in a row. I don't want to get sick, but I'll split them up. I'll drink like expired beer and then I'll switch it up and have like a vodka cran and then I'll go back to another expired beer and then I'll switch it up with something else. I just think he's trying to like make the best out of not a great group
Yeah.
that he has here because he doesn't want to play Isaiah Wynn. Now he has to play Isaiah Wynn.
Yep.
Cole Strange plays bad. He would love to have somebody like Dan Coppin or somebody that he can just bring off the bench and throw in there and be fine. But we don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So I think he's just working with expired goods in a sense. And I hope this bye week is a chance to kind of reassess it, work with these guys in practice and see one solid line that works best for them all. Because I don't want him to be constantly mixing and matching these.
No.
It doesn't seem ideal to me. I am confident in the Patriots, though, in their bye week.
Mhm.
Last year, I think, was an outlier more than it was the rule. I saw the Giants safety, what's his name? Not Benardrick McKinney because he's on the Texans. Something Xavier McKinney, I think it was.
Xavier. Yeah.
But
Yep.
yes, so he got hurt because
Mhm.
on their bye week they didn't practice, and because the Giants are so overachieving, Brian Daboll was like, "We don't have to practice this week. You guys go away." He went ATVing in Cabo, and the fucking jackass flipped his ATV and broke his hand.
What an idiot.
So yes, that is the culture of a team that's not going to win.
Mhm.
I'm all for letting the players, have some sort of freedom and practice early or, give them, little breaks that doesn't affect the team. I believe this bye week, the Patriots are going to be practicing like it's a regular week through
Mhm.
and through. Maybe he lets them out early 2 times a week in this bye week for practice and whatnot. But overall, like, I look at the Giants and I go, that's a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
First year head coach, you Why would you let your team just go off and do whatever? And it doesn't always happen. Players don't always get hurt, but they will come back after going on a bender this week, and they will
Mhm.
not play well in this next upcoming week.
Yep.
Bill goes, this is a 17-game season, and hopefully we get a couple games after that. For 17 weeks, plus a little more, do nothing but football. And that's a winning culture, and I hope that translates in this bye week where Bill cracks down and goes, we are 5-4. We very, very, very easily could be, you know,
Six
seven
and
and
three.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7-2 easily. Yeah, I mean to go by what you're saying. I think Bill understands that because I think he said that the Patriots aren't going to practice as. I think he said I don't think he said they're not going to practice at all, but he said that they're not going to practice as much in the bye week. But he said that the coaches will be in because the
Yeah,
coaches have things to figure out. So that
definitely.
made me happy. One thing I don't know if you saw this, but did you see what came out today where Shaq Leonard and I guess CJ Mosley last week with the Jets, they were calling out the Patriots offensive plays as they were calling them on the field.
I did not see this.
Yeah, so I guess they were there it was some press conference thing with Belichick today, and someone asked him, I don't know what the question was. I just saw kind of what the paraphrase quote was. He was talking about Shaq Leonard, and he said, yeah, he was very quick on some plays. He was basically calling out our plays like on the fly. So like, and you would see. So a lot of the reporters went back and kind of, because they have the all 22s, they were looking and they saw Mac Jones would stand up, audible, call protection, whatever. And you would see Shaq Leonard do like a counter thing. And there was even one where Mac did something and Shaq Leonard like looked to everybody else and pointed to the right. And we ended up tossing it to Stevenson on the right. And it's just like, oh, that's probably something
Yeah,
you need to
that's really bad.
get handled. Which I mean, and I know that this happens with every defense, every team. If you study enough
Yep.
film, you'll eventually
They're
see
putting in the
tips and things
same
like
amount
that.
of preparation as us.
But that is an alarming thing. So I hope that gets settled because when your offense is kind of struggling to really get back on the track there, one thing you don't need is the defense knowing like half of the plays that you're calling throughout the day. But bright side though, the Colts knew a lot of the offensive plays that the Patriots were calling, and they still
Yeah.
lost 26-3. So
And the Jets did too. So it's like, yes,
exactly.
they knew a couple of the plays.
Mhm.
They still lost.
Yeah.
And that almost looks worse on the defense where it's like, really? Like, because we, ended up scoring, what was it? 15 straight points or something like that against the
Yeah.
Jets where it's like, well, it clearly worked. So,
Yeah, I mean, still move the ball. Like even if the drive's still stalled in the red zone, still move the ball. Um, so I don't
but
know.
it is
Going
something like
into
instead of field goals, give me touchdowns.
give me touchdowns, yeah, and I hope, and I think next week, um, there will still be a show next week. We'll still have one, even though there won't be any game to recap. We'll kind of talk about kind of what we. I want to do something like maybe what we expect coming out of the bye week, things you want to
Yep.
happen, stuff like that. And one of the things I want, obviously, please stop tipping your plays if that's what you're doing. But
Yes.
but yeah, other than that though, 26-3, great win. Revenge for last year when the Colts kind of embarrassed the Patriots, kind of screwed them up there. But
Yep.
I don't have any more else to say about this game in particular, other than put some respect on Judon's name. I think
Yes.
it's time.
Yep.
I think he needs to be right now the front runner for defensive player of the year. I think that it is
Makes
not
sense to
really
me.
close. You have bigger names, but I don't think that anybody's playing
Patriots
on the
have the
level.
most shutouts in the league. They're one of the top defenses. Like, no
He
one
is
cares.
3
No one's
sacks
talking
clear
about it.
of everybody else. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, is this the year? So, what was our total for him last year? Did we say we wanted 16 last year?
I think I said
You gave it a little under, and I said 16.
I think this year, I think you said you wanted 18, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
I think I
upped
said
it.
16, you said 18, if I remember. So I think he is going to eclipse both of those numbers. I think he's
Yeah.
going to be, if I had to pick, I think he will be closer to 18
Yeah.
than he is to 16. So
Any chance he breaks Michael Strahan's record of 23?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
Just because it
Yeah.
just I
It is a crazy
this
record.
is kind of not like Patriots defenses don't normally have this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an anomaly. You know, you've had the Trey Flowers had a big year, Chandler Jones obviously had a big year, but you don't normally have people that are putting up sack numbers like this.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's out of I'm not saying it definitely won't happen. If I had to pick, I would say it won't. I think that he will hover somewhere around 17 to 19 if I had to pick
Yeah.
right now.
I like
But
18 as like the sweet spot number
yeah,
for him.
yeah. 18 is a good one. We'll see. I think it's going to come down to if he has another game like this, then shit. I don't. Then Strahan's records on the table.
Yeah.
If he has another one.
Talk about foresight with us though, where Judon fell short of our goal for him last year, and we go, yeah, we're not worried about it. In fact, we
No.
think he has more this year. Instead of
Yeah.
like, oh, well, he disappointed us last year. Maybe he'll disappoint us again. Nope. We're like, we're going more. We're gonna double down. We won't even do last year's total.
Mm.
We're gonna add more.
No. Yeah. He's definitely going to eclipse last year, but I think that yeah, 18. I feel like 18 is a good number for him. I think 18 works. So we'll see. They are playing a few running quarterbacks, a few offenses that he could get into them. So he's
Yeah,
playing the
Joe
Jets
Burrow.
again. Joe
Joe
Burrow,
Burrow's
offensive line
easy
cannot do
money.
anything. Kyler Murray, that's at least a sack. You got to think.
Yeah,
Judah might just step on him there. I
yeah,
mean, he's so
kill him.
small. He's so tiny. Josh Allen probably too. So speaking of Josh Allen, because before we go, the AFC East right now is kind of crazy. The Bills, one of the because next week like I said, the Jets are off, so we don't really have to worry about them. The Dolphins are playing the Browns. They're probably going to beat the Browns, but I don't know.
Come
Anybody
through
can
one
beat
more time for
anybody.
the Pats, baby. Come on.
Anybody can beat anybody. And then the
Yeah.
Bills, though, are playing the 7-1 Vikings.
Yep.
Which
Never been a bigger Kirk Cousins fan than I will be this week.
I am going to be. That will be the game that I watch this weekend. That will be the one. So all things considered, the Chargers are playing the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers might just demolish. I don't know. So this could be a really good week for the Patriots. The games that we were talking about, they're about to play. So the Jets game all of a sudden looks much bigger because the Bills right now are 0-2 in the division. I think that the Jets are 1-1, or they might be 1-1. And I think the Dolphins are what, 2-0? No, 1-1, 2-0. They might be in the
everyone's
division.
1-1.
Everyone's 1-1 except for the stupid Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills, by the way, their kryptonite seems to be if you can get after them with rushing just 4 and cover, that seems to be the way to beat the Bills.
Actually, shit, the Dolphins might be 2-0.
I think they might be because what, they beat the Bills and the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
So I think they might be 2-0, which is kind of shitty. But
it is kind of shitty.
Yeah. But I still don't think that the Dolphins are going to be there at the end. I think it's just going to be the Bills and the Pats.
Yeah.
But that Jets game that coming off the bye, we'll talk more about it next week. Not as worried. It's still the Jets. You're playing them at home. It's still Zach Wilson. They're going to be all pissy anyway. So
chalk me up for 3 picks.
What's his name? Salah is going to be all, he seems like the guy that's going to try too hard to like kind of be like, oh, we aren't the little brother anymore. I am less worried about that game than I even thought I ever was going to be. The Bills game. This game, I think you called it that the Patriots should win this game. Patriots are wearing their red jerseys. And like I said, the way to beat the Bills is to get pressure, not blitzing, and then just cover. What do the Patriots do? What have they been doing? They're not a big blitzing team. They rush 4. They might send someone on a delayed blitz or maybe here and there. I think, and I want to know how you feel about this. Actually, I know how you feel about this. I know how you felt going into the year. I don't think the Bills are these ropey. The Patriots could come out on top in the division. I'm going to fucking say it. There's no reason they can't. I mean,
think about it. The Bills can continue all their winning, but if they go, I'm trying to think, like, They
What's the
could,
Bills schedule? What's the Bills schedule?
yeah, because they could go 2-4 in the division and eat shit.
All right, so the Bills right now, they have the Vikings. They could lose to the Vikings. The Vikings
Yeah.
are like a weirdly good. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Vikings are
It's not a
weirdly good.
primetime game, right?
No, it's at 1. So
Okay, perfect. Yeah, then Kirk
perfect.
Cousins will
Yeah,
be
Kirk Cousins
flawless.
doesn't need
Yeah,
to be playing any primetime games. So
no,
the
ever.
Bills play the Vikings, the Browns, they play the Lions, they play the Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. The Bills play the Patriots, Jets, Dolphins in back to back to back.
That's awesome.
That's a rough
Yeah,
schedule. And then they play the Bears, then
if
they play
he's
the
hurt.
Bengals, and then see, that's the
Yeah,
thing too. We didn't even mention that he might have some UCL nerve damage in his throwing arm.
which would be
So
incredible.
this right now, I mean, in the Patriots schedule, we know the Patriots schedule. They got what, the Jets, the Vikings, the Bengals, Raiders, Cardinals. Not, I mean, the Bengals game doesn't look as difficult. Raiders game should be a win. I'm not even the least bit worried about that. Cardinals, Kyler Murray is a quick little guy, but that team just is not
It's
good.
ugly.
They're like imploding from within right now. Vikings, that's a primetime game. That's the 8:30 game on Thanksgiving. Kirk Cousins is not playing well in that game. So we can just forget that. So there is a path. I see the path for the Patriots to get there, to get to at least second place in the division.
It's destiny.
I just feel like that last game against the Bills, that's going to be one of those ones where the Bills will most likely, if I don't know. Well, what if that last game is for the division? That would be crazy.
That would be nuts. Because then Bill Belichick rolls in all Thanos like, I am inevitable, and lays waste to the Bills.
I'm telling you, I can't.
I like it.
I think we are going to have, and I don't know who, but I feel like we may try to find a guest for next week because I want to talk. I want to talk to as many people as I can about the Patriots coming out of this bye week. I'm very excited about it. I have very high hopes. I hope they get healthy. I hope that, Kyle Duggar is back. I hope Devontae, back 100%. I hope that Parker's back. Please, if I had to pick, actually, let me parting question to you. If you had to pick between Christian Barmore and David Andrews to be healthy coming out of the bye, who would you pick?
I mean, the answer is kind of clear, right? The defense is still fantastic without Barmore.
Right. Yeah, right.
Actually, although when I say that out loud, it's like the defense is really good without him. So if he comes back, how much better could they be? Like probably really fucking good.
Yep.
I mean, in the end, it's a point scoring league. Defense wins championships, so I want to say Barmore, but I usually think with my cock, and my cock says David Andrews.
Good. That's what I would say too. I was thinking with my head as well.
It never works out.
Yeah. I think that'd be the way. So looking at the current AFC standings right now, if I don't really give a shit what the Chiefs are doing, to be honest. Between the Chiefs and the Ravens, I really don't care about what either one of them are doing. I don't think I don't care. Bills right now are 6-2. They most likely will beat the Browns, so they'll probably be 7-2. But the Jets are not playing. They're 6-3. The Dolphins right now, if they lose, they'll be 6-4. So you'll be 5-4. So you'll be one behind them. If the Chargers happen to lose, which I think they will, because the Chargers are playing the Niners, they'll be 5-4. They're tied with you. You're tied for that last playoff spot.
Justin Herbert cannot have a positive record in his career. It just seems impossible.
It's impossible.
At this point, right now, he's perfectly at 500. The Niners are going to ruin that.
He gets there, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta pull back."
Oh my god. Yeah.
So I'm just to look, I just want to double check. Yep, the Bucks are 4-5. So that's crazy. Patriots are 5-4. Bucks are 4. Bucks are 4-5. That is weird.
Let the record show.
Literally let the record show. So I'm I'm excited. Next week we'll have a lot to talk about with the bye. Like I said, I want to do kind of like maybe we'll do like a first half, um, like a first half kind of MVP type thing, something,
like
some sort of accolade thing like that,
yep.
and then kind of what
Play
we
some sort of game.
yeah. I like that. I like that. What we need them to, what we think they should fix coming out, kind of what we think's going to happen, looking at the landscape once week 10 is over. But either way, regardless, the Patriots are 5-4. The season is still on. We are still on track to make the playoffs, still on track to make some noise this year. So everything is kind of showing up Patriots right now. So if you are not on the bandwagon right now going into the bye week, please just stay off. We do not want you there. There's no room. We like
this
to stretch
isn't
our
even
legs.
like the last call, like the train's pulling out of the station.
No.
The train is still in the station, but we just don't really want you.
No. The doors are locked for you. You need the secret password, and you do not have it because we did not give it to you. So Liam, anything to say before we leave?
Bill Belichick, I trust, baby. Every night
There
I
we
pray
go.
before
That's
bed
it.
to our Lord and Savior, Bill Belichick. Bill,
That's it.
keep
That
doing
is
it.
it.
Stunt on these motherfuckers, Bill. I'm telling you.
In Bill We Trust, update, James White has not answered my DM yet. I am still holding out hope. So I have not made the super cut of us saying sweet feet, but I will do that and I will send it to him and we will
I sent him a BHP to try and get his attention, so hopefully
we'll get him. We'll get it. This is the time. It's the bye week. This is the time to get him on. I know he's on the team, but just for him to come on and talk and all that fun shit. So for Liam McDade, for the future guest James White on the podcast, I'm Mike Sullivan. This was Tuck Rule Takes, episode 56. Next week is episode 57. I have no fucking idea what number, who we're gonna do for that. So
I do.
I gotta figure. Okay, good. So I'll need you next week. So well, either way, I'm gonna need you because we are Patriots fans. We run Tuck Rule Takes. Like I said, see you next week. Bye week. Rest up. Let's go. Making the push for the final stretch of the season. We are out of here.
Please come on the show, sweet feet. Please, sweet.